I'm here with Nick, who was just evicted from the Big Brother house last night. So, last night's episode, when we left off, there was an endurance competition for HOH. Do you know who got head of household?
No, I have no clue.
Danielle.
Okay.
Who do you think she's going to nominate?
I would think that she'd put up Jen and Kale.
Again, we could see why Jen. But Kale, how does she feel about her?
I think she's fine with Kale. It's just the fact that I think Kale's getting pretty fragile and stressed out, you know, being put up on the block. And I think that's to the benefit of the house, keeping her around, you know, every week.
Oh, so the point would be to get rid of...
to the max and, get rid of Jen this week.
Well, Jen's been, you know, pretty lucky with those powers of veto. What did you think of Jamaica saving her and saying that it was preordained?
You know, I wasn't a big fan of it, and obviously because in the end I got put up on the block, but what happened, and I just think that, you know, God would have better things to do than to come down to Big Brother and tell her to use the power of veto, but, you know, whatever she saw.
Were you pretty blindsided by getting nominated by Dustin? Yeah,
I was fairly blindsided. I thought there was maybe a 1% chance that I might get put up, because expected and unexpected in this you know, house. But when it actually hit me, I was a little shocked.
What is your relationship like with Zach? A lot of people in the house find him irritating, but he's been very loyal to you. 2 weeks, you know, he voted to keep you in the house this past week.
Zach is a really nice guy, and I can see why people get irritated, because we've coined him the human shadow. He tends to follow people around, especially whoever gets head of household. And it's funny that, you know, it's hard for me to fathom that he's 30 years old, because he acts younger than his age, but he's a very nice guy,
So you think you'll be friends with him outside the house?
I will talk to him when we get outside the house, but I mean, just distance-wise, we're not going to be clubbing or anything like that.
Well, what are your plans now that you have been evicted?
Yeah, my plans are going to be, I have to apply for my teaching license still and get that going, and then find a job teaching somewhere.
Have you talked to any friends or family since you got out of the house last night?
I touched base with my mom and dad just for like 5 minutes, and that was it.
And what did they get to say to you?
Nothing much. They just wanted to make sure that I was okay and that they loved me, and, you know.
Were they watching religiously?
No clue, but I'm guessing that, you know, I'm just guessing that they were.
Now, how big of a fan were you of the show prior to going in? Like, how familiar were you?
Truthfully, I wasn't too familiar with Big Brother. I did some studying of some past seasons, but beforehand, I think I only saw season 7 All Stars. So that's what I was, you know, up to date with.
Being an ex-professional football player, did that help you in any way in the house? Whether it's, you know, having a naturally competitive spirit, or...
I think that I'm just, you know, it helped me in pressure situations maybe, just because, you know, I've been under a lot of stress pertaining to football, and, you know, I've been in, you know, pressure situations, so I thought that that'd help. And then, like you said, competitive nature, you know, I thought it would come out when I needed it to. I didn't use it too often right away, and I probably should have, but yeah, basically what I just touched on it.
What did you think of Evil Dick in the house? He's very, very vocal and can be abusive.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of Evil Dick, just want to put that out there, but I think he goes over the top sometimes with the things that he says. I like the fact that he can say what's on his mind, state his opinion, because I think everybody has a right to do that. But like I said, he took it over the top a couple times, especially with maybe pouring liquids on people and stuff like that.
Yeah, mostly it's really verbal abuse, and he does that in part, it seems, to intimidate others and throw them off their game. It certainly worked with Kale. When you say you're a fan of his, is that because you like him as an individual, or because he is Danielle's father and you have feelings for Danielle?
It could be both, but I actually do like him I like him, you know, the way that he expresses himself. And then the fact that he's Danielle's father doesn't hurt also.
And he seems to be fond of you as well.
Yeah, we had a good rapport leaving the house, you know. We just had a lot in common, you know.
Was the challenge of living in the house cut off from the outside world a challenge? As big of a challenge as you thought it was going to be? Was it harder? Was it easier?
Well, I did miss my sports center in the morning, so I mean, it was a lot tougher than I thought. And then, Just the little things that you're used to outside the house, like getting up, watching TV, being able to drive your own vehicle, stuff like that, and just secluding yourself away from people when you feel the need to, and you miss a lot of that in the house.
Why did you do it? Was it to really try and win $500,000?
Truthfully, no, and that was the whole thing going in. $500,000. Obviously, it's always in the back of your head. I wanted to surround myself with certain people who I thought I could trust and who I thought would do good things with the money and who needed it. So I kind of wanted to weed some of the others out and make sure that others had an extended stay and had a chance at the $500,000 at the end.
Did you feel those people, the people in the Mrs. Robinson Alliance, initially fit that bill? You felt like they were trustworthy and they would do something?
I think that I was roped into the alliance.
It seemed that way.
I felt like I was cornered into the alliance.
Who wrangled you in?
Well, Zach started it, and then they kind of had a meeting in the storage room, and I felt cornered because Kale had just won HOH, and then they're asking me to be in their alliance, and obviously if I say no, I think that I'd probably be up on the block, so I kind of just went along with it, and then found out who I could really trust and who I was fond of in the house.
So who could you really trust?
Obviously Danielle, I was very fond of her, but I think that Amber and Jamaica also, I think both of them need the money, and I think we had one night where we talked about what we'd do with the money, and Jamaica had it all planned out, and I thought that she was really sincere about that, and she'd really use the money to go towards those things that she talked about.
What did she talk about giving it towards?
Certain charities, churches, family, stuff like that.
And Amber said what?
She basically touched on how it would help her life, and I know that she's got an 8-year-old daughter, and that
she's a single mom.
Yep, and that'd be very beneficial for her, obviously. So.
Well, because you have been locked away from society and newspapers, we have a little current events true or false quiz for you.
Okay.
Question 1: true or false? The View decided to replace Rosie O'Donnell with Donald Trump.
False.
You're right. It is false. They replaced her with Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, I was going to guess that, too.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay. True or false? R&B singer Usher left his pregnant bride at the altar and instead went running off to see his mother.
True.
That is true. Was that a guess or?
I think I read something in a magazine about how he had a close bond with his mother, so I just went with it.
Lindsay Lohan was arrested for DUI and cocaine possession less than 2 weeks after leaving rehab.
True.
You're 3 for 3. This should be a HOH competition. Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake rekindle their romance and do a romantic getaway in Vegas.
We'll go with true.
False. First one down. CBS announces the new host of The Price is Right is comedian Drew Carey.
True.
Very good. And finally, Al Gore throws his hat in the ring, announcing he'll seek the Democratic nomination for president.
I hope it's true, but I'm going to say false.
You're correct. So you got 5 out of 6. Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was good talking with you.
Nice talking
and
to
we'll
you.
see you on finale night.
Okay, thank you.